So there are classroom spaces here in the library where librarians do conduct a lot of the instruction sessions for students, and they're just really beautiful spaces. They have all of the technology needed to have classes in person, but also to be able to do classes online as well.
We've got computer labs that are accessible 24/7 on the first and second floors.
And so there's thin clients that can connect to the mainframe where students can log in from the library or anywhere on campus. They can also log in from home, and they'll access the same desktop, the same files, and they can use their campus-wide printing network.
Whenever the library is open, we have technology support available to students in those labs, whether it's just a little bit of help with a piece of software that you're new to, or whether it's clearing a printer jam for you. We're there in those labs to make sure that the technology does what you tell it to. If not on the first try, maybe on the second try.
The computer labs were really helpful for when I was a first year, and I didn't really have much access to things.
I really like the third floor, kind of like on the edge of the computer lab up there, but mostly close to the windows. It has a really nice amount of natural light, and it just feels like a really big and open space with the high ceilings and everything. So it's just like a really nice place to hang out during the day.
The way that the library is designed, it's designed so that if you're a person who studies loud, if you're a person who studies quiet, there's a place for you.
Students can walk through the book stacks and they can go around a corner. They might find a table or a whiteboard. Maybe they're going to snuggle into a comfy chair, but they're going to wander and explore, and they're going to find the space that belongs to them.
You see couches, individual soft seating, traditional desk and chair seating, wooden tables, spaces that can be bordered with movable walls to support group study. You see individual study carrels near the windows.
We have individual study carrels that have a door to close behind you when you go in.
So if you want just a small, quiet space to yourself without distractions.
Those spaces have been fitted with computers, so if you're having Zoom meetings with your groups, or if you have a class that's meeting virtually, you can use the 4th and 5th floor carrels to meet with those groups, which is pretty fantastic.
Good place to take a test if you need to.
I think that they're also a really great resource for commuters who don't have a dorm or apartment to go back to when they're on campus, so they can use one of those spaces to study, and especially if they have classes that are far apart from each other.
Students who would like to collaborate and work in teams for class, for projects, have many options.
We have the group study rooms that are located on the different floors of the library.
That are designed to be flexible so the students can kind of shape them to what they need. We have group study rooms that range from seating 4 to 16.
They are spread out through the building. They're bookable 2 weeks in advance online, but you can also just drop in and grab a room if it's open.
Group study rooms are great places for students to work in small groups because we've got big screens in the rooms and computers so that you can do joint editing of documents, practice, presenting in front of a slideshow.
I also like to use the group study rooms when I'm having a group project with someone because there's the whiteboards up in there.
Also, they have a door that closes, so it provides an area that gives you a little more privacy.
The study rooms are great places for students to kind of just get together.
Freshman year especially, my friends and I would go into the group study spaces, watch movies, just study together, sometimes watching YouTube and making lots of noise, but having a good time.
There's so many different places in the library to work with others.
We have the garden reading room, which is in our 24/7 space with an entrance from the lower mall. And that room supports a variety of experiences. It supports individual and group study and accommodates both students sitting at large group tables, but also some individual seating that students move around and collaborate or discuss in groups. It also supports individuals working on their laptops and students working on the computers that are there.
I'm a big fan of just going in the 24-hour spaces to have a nice place to study.
I also really enjoyed the Bite Cafe.
On the second floor, adjacent to the Bite Cafe, is the Bangasser Reading Room.
The cafe is not open 24/7, but the cafe and the reading room are part of the 24/7 spaces where students can study anytime. They're probably the sort of liveliest, noisiest place in the library, and there are a lot of people for whom that's the perfect study environment.
I kind of like to use that if I'm with a couple more people because I don't feel as pressured to be quiet because, there is a cafe there.
We are anything but quiet and traditional. We still have quiet spaces in the library because students from time to time prefer working in quiet spaces. On the third floor, we have the Wyckoff Reading Room, which is a quiet reading room, one of a few quiet spaces in the library.
No one's allowed to type in there, so it's a nice place to just read for fun or for classes.
On the sixth floor, we have the Ann Farrell Reading Room, which is a room that accommodates students that want to come in and read, work on their laptops.
It's a little more private, but it does have that cozy feel. So it's more of a place that I go by myself if I have something to work on. It has a really nice view.
Beautiful vistas of the campus and the surrounding neighborhoods. Also on the sixth floor, we do have a faculty lounge that is used by full and part-time faculty, generally after or before classes, sometimes when they're working with students.